Okay, so we have practiced meditation. Meditation is called bhavana in Buddha's teaching. Bhavana means development. It's the development of the mind. That is bhavana. So generally we always speak about development, right? We speak about development of a country. India as a country, we wish that it should develop, underdeveloped, developing and developed. Usually that's how we speak about a country. And I think now we are in a developing phase. We are no more underdeveloped, as I think. But then in meditation, it's about you as an individual, as a human being. Because we as human beings, we are also a nation. It's like a nation, right? Because we have this body and the mind, nama rupa, and this body and mind is quite a lot. If you look at body, you know how much attention it requires, your body, right? Lot of things. If you see, you have to clothe it, you have to feed it, you have to give it medicine, right? So there are so many needs for the body and also for the mind. You see, your mind also requires a lot. Even though you take care of the body, but it is not sufficient, right? It's not enough, because the mind also needs attention. Just taking care of body is not enough, because the mind demands more. So meditation is about taking care of the mind. You see, it helps us to see the mind, whatever it is, right? Because when you sit in meditation, you get a glance, get an idea of the mind. You can see it, right? You can feel it, and you see all sort of things in the mind, right? It's not like you only have very pleasant experiences. You don't always have a pleasant experiences while you are meditating, right? There are so many things going on in the mind, right? So many different experiences going on in the mind. But that's the very purpose of meditation, right? The purpose of meditation is to actually look in your mind, to see the mind, to understand the mind, to experience the mind, so that you can do something about it, right? Unless you look at your mind, you can't do much about your mind. You can't do much, right? So it's like a mirror. In the mirror, you see your face, right? So you can actually do something, right? Every morning you see your face, right? When you wash your face, you see whether it is okay or not. You take care of it. You clothe, right? While clothing also you actually see in the mirror, right? So meditation is like a mirror which helps us to see how we are, whatever it is, right? We see it and then we work with it. It's a working, right? If you have certain experiences, certain feelings, certain experiences, we just feel it and understand it from where it is coming, and then try to just maybe convert that feeling into something pleasant, something better, or at least eventually let it go, or get rid of it, something like that. Okay? Or sometimes it is about it's about your own ideas, thinking, right? Your opinion, your views, your concept. So you work with that, the chitta, You see, when you are meditating, you get thoughts of the past, all those ideas you get. Of course, we don't bring up those ideas in the mind, we're just with the breath, but they come anyway, and when they come, we work with it. We work with those thoughts, and those thoughts are not necessarily bad, because one of the thing people sometimes mistake is that when you are meditating, there should not be any thought. That's what people expect, or they think that it should be like that, but it need not. It should not. It need not. See? Because the very idea of meditating is to work with your thoughts, right? Otherwise, why we meditate in the first place? Why do we even need to meditate? If not for working with the thought. Even when people don't meditate, let's say somebody who never know what is meditation at all, still they work with the thought. How do they do? They talk to somebody, right? They speak with somebody, they read some books about that, they discuss with their friends and families and parents, people whom they know, and they get suggestions, they get opinion, they get guidance from each other, right? But then those ideas, those suggestions, advices are coming from outside. They are coming outside of you, right? Which is okay, which is good, which is helpful. But then, what about you? And what about the ultimate ideas? Ultimate understanding of you, because you are speaking to somebody because you want some suggestion, solution for whatever is going on. So of course you speak to people, you get some idea, but then once you are done with that, you also need to refine it. You also need to listen to yourself. Today we talk about these days we talk about gut feeling, intuition. But how do they come? They come when you meditate, when your mind is more and more peaceful, more and more peaceful. It is in that state of mind that your whatever that's happening in the mind becomes more clearer and clearer and clearer and simpler, right? So this is what happens in meditation. So please don't expect thoughtless state in the mind. Of course, there may be moments when there are no much thought, but then there will be a lot of time when there are a lot of thoughts. It will be up, it will be on and off. The thoughts are going to be there and not there, and there and not there. It's going to be there. It's natural, it's normal. It's part of the practice, meditation, right? When there are no thoughts, you just relax. You just feel that emptiness. You just feel that the thoughtless state. But at the same time, when you have so many thoughts, so don't be bothered. Don't feel upset. Don't feel disappointed. Or why I have so many thoughts? Or why don't I have this thoughtless state continue? Why this thoughtless state is not continuing, right? So it is it is also a part of the meditation. So that way meditation helps us to just understand our thought, and then we have to make things much simpler. We should not complicate things, right? Certain thought comes, certain experiences come, so we have to try to make it more simpler and simpler. You see, whatever it is, just make it more and more simpler. We don't need to be so much complicated and so much stress ourselves to really go deep into some of those thoughts. We just have to make simpler by our own understanding, whatever it is. And generally they are quite simple. If you just have this idea to make it simple, then things actually are simple, right? Even thoughts, they are quite simple. They are not so complicated or complex. They are not so complex. You can actually understand. So for that you need to just understand the thought as they are. Buddha always spoke about this yatha bhuta jnana, that is, look at things as they are. Just that's what he was saying. Whatever things are, just look at them as they are. And now within the thoughts, then there is something called wholesome, unwholesome. So you need to actually understand that. You see, so to sort of understand, because there is actually the reality of wholesome, unwholesome. In other words, good or bad. It is there. You have to sort of understand, and it's a reality. You see, so that too you have to understand, or understand and actually analyze whenever thoughts of wholesome comes, unwholesome comes. So you have to actually it's like kind of labeling. You label that this is good, wholesome, this is unwholesome. You see, and how do we know if something is wholesome, unwholesome? We know through its motivation. If it is motivated by greed, anger, and unclarity. It is especially more greed and hatred. If it is greed and hatred, then it is something wrong. And you can categorize it as wrong. Okay, so I'll just read out a small with regard to that, and I'll just read out one passage from the Buddhist scripture. Then Venerable Ananda went up to the Buddha, bowed and sat down to one side. The Buddha said to him, Ananda, I absolutely say that you should not do bad things by way of body, speech and mind. But sir, if someone does these things, what should not be done? What drawback should they expect? They should expect these drawbacks. They blame themselves. After examination, sensible people criticize them. They get a bad reputation. They feel lost when they die. And when their body breaks up, after death, they are reborn in a place of loss, a bad place, the underworld, hell. These are the drawbacks they should expect. Ananda, I absolutely say that you should do good things by way of body, speech and mind. But sir, if someone does these things that should be done, what benefits should they expect? They should expect these benefits. They don't blame themselves. After examination, sensible people praise them. They get a good reputation. They don't feel lost when they die. And when the body breaks up, after death, they are reborn in a good place, a heavenly realm. These are the benefits they should expect. Okay, so as you meditate, you also, as I was telling just now, you also categorize, what is right and wrong. Every action has result, has implications, consequences. It's a law. It's something that is there, It's a natural thing that functions independently, without anybody's intervention. It's a law. It is not created by Buddha. It is not created by any god. It is how it is. That every action. So, what did the Buddha say first is that they blame themselves. So, when we do something wrong, we blame ourselves. We may not say that, oh, I am bad, but somewhere inside, inside your mind, you will feel bad about yourself. You will feel a bit uncomfortable. You will feel uneasy. You will not feel good. That feeling will not be there. That good feeling will not be there if you do something wrong. Right now. You see, so therefore it is also a reason why we should not do wrong. You see, and when we speak about consequences, it is not just about next life. Generally we talk about next life, but right now we feel bad about ourselves. We feel we are no good. That's what we feel. What we call the confidence. Today we speak about self-confidence. That confidence, that vibe. You don't feel good vibe within your heart. You don't feel confident about within yourself. You see, if you do something wrong. Whether people know about it or not, but you don't feel good. Because this is the law of the mind, chitta niyama. This is the law. You can break the law of the land, but you can't break the law of the mind. In the sense, you may see, actually what I was trying to tell is, you may you may miss or escape the consequences of violating the law of the land, but you can't escape the consequences of violating the law of the mind. It is not possible. You can't. You see? Because if you do that, you get punished anyway, right? And the punishment just starts right there. From the moment you start doing something wrong, thinking, in fact, at the thinking level, not even at the speech and body level, even at the speech level, you already feel bad. So you start blaming yourself, right? So, and I think today we do speak a lot about that, right? We do speak about blaming myself, feeling bad about myself, those kind of things we do. It is part of our modern narrative, it is part of our conversation. So I think that's what Buddha is trying to say. And after examination, sensible people criticize them. So some of the good people will blame you, will criticize you. You see, so which means that you are somewhere distancing yourself from good people, right? If you do something wrong, you are distancing yourself from good people. Somewhere you are, keeping yourself away. You are just moving yourself out from good people. And that is a big loss, because if you are not in contact with good people, then you will either end up with the bad people or you will be alone. You will be alone. Because we do need the support of good people to grow in life. To grow in life, whether it is worldly or spiritual, in whatever field, whatever growth, we do need the support of good people. So if you do something wrong, the good people will see it, will understand it, they can feel it, and they will criticize you. And then, you are sort of distancing yourself. You are just keeping yourself out from the company of good people. So that is one of the disadvantage. Of course, at this point, if you sort of realize it, then there is always a chance. There is always a chance to actually go back on the right track. And of course, that is the reason why Buddha is actually digging out for us the consequences of bad deeds. That's the whole purpose, of course. And I think this is something that we all can relate to. They get a bad reputation, so your reputation will be bad. You see. So in today's time, we speak a lot about branding, right? Brand. It's all about brand. What's brand? Brand is reputation. You see. So our reputation in society, in the family, is quite important, because based on your reputation, people want to be associated with you and then grow. You see. So the reputation is something, I think, very important. That's what Buddha, of course, the reason, of course, it is important because Buddha is making it one important aspect of the consequences, revealing so that you have a bad reputation. So that's wrong. So you don't. Again, people do not want to be associated. So that bad reputation, and it hurts, right? You feel bad. Again, I think these are all connected in some way. They feel lost when they die. So you feel lost. You are, when you do wrong, you are scattered. Your mind is scattered, right? You don't actually know where you are going. You don't have a track of your life, right? It is scattered. It is not gathered. In fact, the whole purpose of meditation is to gather the mind. The samadhi that we speak, samadhi is actually gathering the mind, and is collecting. It's coming together, So if you do something wrong, you're scattered. Your mind is scattered. Your mind is all over the place, and you don't know where you are moving. And you actually feel more lost, confused, then naturally you will not have a good life when you die. And when their body breaks up after death, they are reborn in a place of loss, a bad place, the underworld, the hell. So when you die with a confused mind, you go to the lower world, right? Because you have developed a mind that is confused. So accordingly you get a body. There is a big connection between the mind and the body. You see, the kind of mind you create, accordingly you get a body. Why there is heaven and hell in the world? Because our mind also has bad and good. So because we have bad mind, there is hell. Because there is a good mind, there is heaven. That's the whole purpose of having hell and heaven. You see, so that is one of the reason we should not do bad by body, speech and mind. You see, so and then Buddha is again saying that we should do good, because what is the benefit? We don't blame ourselves, we feel good about ourselves. People will praise you. When people praise you, you feel good, you feel appreciated, and you feel like doing more good, and you have a good reputation. So when you have a good reputation, people do want to associate with you, and you can grow. They don't feel lost when they die. So when you are dying, you are peacefully dying. You are happily dying. See, your death, when you are about to die, you don't feel bad, right? It's not like, oh, why am I dying? You see, death is bad. It's not bad. Death is not bad. You feel like you welcome death, because death is part of life. It has to come, and you are happy. So when you are reborn, you are in a happy world, because what is rebirth? It is just a continuation of mind. It's nothing. This body is now finished, expired, right? This body is expired because it has its own time. So your mind cannot sustain anymore with this body, so it wants a new body. So you get a new body, but that body will be a good one, because you created a good mind. So everything happens in our life based on our mind. It's our action, our karma. Three kinds of karma: physical, verbal, and mental karma. That's why Buddha is telling us to do good. So it's very, very important for us to do good. So and after understanding the consequences of doing good, you know. Why we should do good? You know, because of the consequences. Consequences is there. You know, it is there. You can't escape. It is impossible for anybody to escape from the consequences of action, both good and bad. It is just not possible. So it's very important for us to look into the consequences. And if you look at today's passage from Buddha went by step, you see. First, how you feel when you are doing, blaming yourself or feeling good about yourself right now. Of course, the next life we don't know whether it exists or not, right? You don't know, because it's something that beyond of your capacity. But of course, through deeper meditation, one can actually see one's past life, so that you know there is next life. But then that's something little far. But now, right now, how do you feel when you think bad, speak bad, act bad? How do you feel? Just observe. And that observation can come when you repeatedly practice meditation. When you regularly, repetitively, constantly practice meditation, because when you are sitting in meditation, as I said, you get thoughts, you get feeling, and what do you get? What kind of thought? It's not something new, it's not something totally different or unconnected to your daily life. What you get is what kind of mind you have built, you know, what kind of action you have done, what kind of thought you had, what kind of speech you had. All these things come in the form of thoughts and feelings. So in meditation, it actually helps us to feel that, you know. So if you are feeling bad, so you can see how you remember something bad and then you feel bad. It's okay, so you feel bad, but now you have to understand, this I'm feeling bad because of this action. Fine, so I have to give up. I have to make an effort to give up some of those bad action. You see. So when you meditate, please don't expect a thoughtless state, you know, immediately. There will be moment, as I said, some thoughtless state as well, you know, but then whatever comes in, just see it, observe it, you know. So as I said, meditation, Buddhism means bhavana, development. It's a development of mind, development of individual, the mind. Okay. So as our country is developing, make sure that your mind is also developing. Okay. So with this, we conclude. I conclude my few words, and I thank all of you for listening patiently and coming here, and I invite all of you to come regularly every Sunday. It's every Sunday program, 6 to 7, chanting, meditation and talk. So it's very helpful for all of you. It will be helpful. So I come with your family and friends for your own benefit. Okay, so with this we conclude, and we pray for the welfare of all the beings, for the peace of the world, for the peace of the universe. Sukhi bhaveyam nidukho aham nicham aham viya hita chame sukhe honto majata chata verino Imam he dhammam khetam he satta honto sukhe sada tato paranchara jayasa Chakhavale sujantano sadhu sadhu. Okay, so you can get a lot of this dharma, dhamma talk on our YouTube channel also, Mahabodhi Buddha Vihara. And if you wish to read books, we have bookstore near the parking area at the front near the gate, so you can read some books and listen to some of this talk online. Okay, so see you next Sunday.